This is the new Hyundai Creta, and it isn't an all-new Hyundai Creta, it is just a facelift of the Creta that we all know and love. And this particular car that we have right here is the premium trim. Now, Hyundai Motor Philippines actually brought us the new Creta with what they call the N-line trim with a turbocharged gasoline engine, but for today, let's explore this one too, which uses the old powertrain. So what exactly is new right here? So starting off from the front, you can see that the entire front fascia has been changed and upgraded, really, and it looks so much better compared to before. This entire front end, yes, that is new. At the same time, you do have this entire set of daytime running lights, including this center light bar that runs along the entire width of the front end. The hood also looks like it's a little bit more clamshell-like in the look, and down below, you still do have your LED headlamps. Now, on the side of the new Hyundai Creta Premium, well, you still get 17-inch rims. And most of what you would get right here is virtually unchanged. Chrome door handles are still there, and you still do get repeaters on your wing mirrors. Towards the rear of the Hyundai Creta, they've also updated it a lot. The biggest change you'll notice here would be the tail lamps. Now, they are all LEDs, and there also is an entire light bar that runs the entire width, just like those front DRLs. On the top, you still do have your third brake light. There still is that shark's fin antenna. And as you open up this tailgate, space is still the same, which is always a good thing because in terms of subcompact crossover SUVs, the Creta space had always been not bad. I think that is the best term that we could use for it. And in case you still do need extra amounts of space, you can still always fold down those rear seats 60/40. And once you do lift up this false floor right here, you will be surprised because there still is a full-size spare tire, something that is incredibly rare in 2025. Now, before we proceed with anything else, we have to talk about today's video sponsor, BLUETTI. So BLUETTI actually has one of these mobile charging stations. It's like a giant power bank, really. And this particular one that we have right here is quite impressive. This is something that I would personally keep inside my car all the time or at home as well because it has a 268 watt-hour capacity. Now, what's amazing about this huge power bank right here is that you can actually charge 12 volts just like using a cigarette outlet. And if you notice too, there are those household outlets right here. And because of its large capacity, not only can you charge up and power up your appliances, let's say on a road trip, if you are going for a little bit of a camping session, you can put your microwave right here or your oven toaster and all of that. But in case of a power outage at home, this is actually powerful enough to run your refrigerator for anywhere between 2 and 2.5 hours depending on the consumption of your refrigerator. And of course, you can still charge up your normal USB devices up to 100 watts for this USB-C. Total output, by the way, is 600 watts. And on top is even a wireless charging pad, so you can always just put your phone there on top. I will leave the product link in there by the description just in case you guys want one of these. So yeah. With that said, let's proceed with the rest of the new Hyundai Creta. When this new Hyundai Creta was first launched a couple of months back, the star of the show there was the Hyundai Creta N-line, which now had a turbocharged gasoline engine making 160 horsepower and 253 Newton meters of torque. But that is just the top of the line N-line. For these lesser variants, including this premium variant, all we have is still that same engine from the previous Hyundai Creta. So what you have here is still the 1.5-liter naturally aspirated gasoline engine making 115 horsepower and 144 Newton meters of torque, still more than enough. And also still mated to an IVT or Hyundai's glorified CVT, which honestly is tuned pretty well. In terms of fuel economy, you're still looking at a very respectable 8.5 kilometers per liter inside the city and 20.4 kilometers per liter on the highway. Now, if you've seen our previous Hyundai Creta video, you might notice that there is a discrepancy when it comes to the fuel economy. That seemed to be much more fuel efficient at around 23 kilometers per liter on the highway. Don't worry, it's just that we got to test them out under slightly different traffic conditions, hence the difference right there. But yeah, it is still exactly the same. Now we move inside the new Hyundai Creta Premium and we check the door first. Sounds okay. Just like before, again. Okay, but you know what's not like before? The interior, because look at it. You now have two huge screens, two 10.25-inch screens. One is for your digital instrument cluster and the other one is for the center touchscreen, which comes with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and even a really clear reverse camera. But I do have a little bit of an issue with these screens. You see, in a lot of vehicles, they do angle the screens towards the driver, right? To make it a very driver-centric type of cockpit feel to it. But for some reason, I don't know why, they've sort of tilted the screens a little bit down. I mean, you can still see it. The display is great. Still is probably some sort of IPS display, or that thing that allows you to see it from any angle, but just looks kind of weird that it's tilted slightly down. Minor gripe only. The rest of the interior is pretty good, just like the Hyundai Creta before, and a lot of Hyundais, they do still keep the physical buttons for your AC as well as your radio control, so that is excellent. The steering wheel is also leather wrapped, and look at that, it tilts and telescopes, which for this price range is also really good. The seats are more than comfortable enough. They are unfortunately not power adjustable for both the driver nor the passenger. There is no wireless charging pad, but now you get ventilated seats for both seats. Okay, no panoramic sunroof on the top, that's also totally fine. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, interior materials, they're okay. While they are made out of hard touch plastic, they feel very durable without any creaking, unlike some German luxury car brands, for example. So yeah, oh, there's also an electronic parking brake with auto hold, and you have almost the entire suite of Hyundai SmartSense advanced driver assistance system functions, including adaptive cruise control, your lane keeping assist, your lane centering assist, and all that. And it is quite smooth too. Now, when it comes to cubby spaces too, there's a lot. There's a huge jug holder on the side. There's a place to put some items here, including your phone. And take a look at the center cup holders. They're huge. My entire giant jug can fit in there, and even a smaller one for smaller Coke cans, such as this one. Now we move towards the rear of the Hyundai Creta Premium, and you check the door. Sounds even better. So the materials back here, just like the front, they are covered in, again, a lot of hard touch plastic, but they do feel very durable. Unlike, yeah, I'm not gonna say it again. Okay, space is pretty good for the size of this vehicle, both for legroom as well as headroom. And there's even this center armrest, which is well padded and also comes with 2 cup holders. You also get, thankfully, your 2 air vents here at the back. There is a USB-C port and a place to put your phone. And should you want to carry 3 people here at the back, I mean, it's pretty doable for shorter journeys. It's not the widest in terms of width, but yeah, it's doable. The center seat isn't insanely narrow, and the transmission tunnel is not that high either. Now we drive the new Hyundai Creta Premium, and surprise, as I always say for these facelift vehicles, it drives exactly the same, which is honestly a good thing because the Hyundai Creta always drove pretty decently. It's a pretty comfortable vehicle. The suspension, it isn't really super soft. It is a good blend between a little bit of firmness and a little bit of softness. So it works well in almost any situation if you want to push it a little bit hard. It's no sports car, but it can handle decently. And in city roads too, it can also absorb the bumps pretty adequately. Now, my only issue with this one is the power. Don't get me wrong, it is more than adequate, but we've been spoiled by so much subcompact crossovers lately with turbocharged engines giving us 150, 160, 170, or 180 plus horsepower even. So yeah, once you put out the comparison right there, it does tend to feel a little bit lethargic. But again, it is more than enough for your daily drives. And I do assume that most people who would buy a Hyundai Creta would be perfectly fine with the 115 horsepower and the 144 Newton meters of torque. But what I really liked about the Creta ever since, and even the Hyundai Stargazer, would be the IVT. Because in a lot of CVTs, you have a lot of rubber banding. It gets pretty loud. It groans pretty loudly. But for this one, it doesn't. It's pretty smooth. I wouldn't say it's very automatic-like, but it is about as close as you can get while still giving you all of the efficiency of a CVT. Visibility inside here is good too, I guess, because you only do have 2 airbags. You didn't really have to unnecessarily make the A-pillars very thick, so you see a lot out of those corners. Same thing goes for the back. Same thing goes for your reverse camera. So it's a very easy car to drive. The steering, it's light enough. It's not the lightest in the world, but it's also decently direct too. So yeah, I mean, it's not a particularly great vehicle. It's a notch above mediocre, but in a good way. So yeah, you won't really find yourself lacking in here. And the advanced driver assistance system functions too. They're very smooth. Even in low speed, it works well. Even the automatic steering works even in low speeds too, which is pretty rare for cars unless you go super high end. So yeah, I like it overall. It's a pretty decent vehicle to drive. And in terms of quietness too, when you are going at highway speeds, it does subdue road noise and wind noise pretty well, which is pretty surprising because I did remember that the old Creta was a little bit loud. Not too loud, but a little bit loud. But here they somehow made it a tad bit quieter, which is always a good thing. The new Hyundai Creta in this premium trim is great. It uses the tested and proven recipe of the previous Hyundai Creta and just gives you enough upgrades to keep you satisfied for 2025 for the most part, especially for the exterior. But at 1,333,000 pesos, it's a little bit lacking in terms of features. I mean, what car in 2025 at this price range gives you just 115 horsepower compared to a lot of its competitors with over 160 or 170 horsepower? And also, what car in 2025 gives you only 2 airbags? That's just my slight minor concern. It'll still be up to you if you're looking for a great, spacious, and comfortable and fuel-efficient subcompact crossover SUV and don't mind shelling out 1,333,000 pesos for it, then the Hyundai Creta in this premium trim is still a viable option.